Ooh, ooh, morning light. Ooh, ooh, fresh air. Ooh, 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 Tumbler on the morning walk. Everything starts slow. Warm light spilling on the sidewalk. Light across the road. Tumbler on the morning walk. Fresh air, open sky. One more block before the coffee. Waiting warm inside. Cold air on my face. Crosswalk light across the street. Morning shadows stretch and fade underneath my feet. Hands around the empty tumbler. Jacket half zip tight. Coffee smell from down the block. Drifting through the air. Car still moving slow this morning. Clouds above the signs. One more turn around the corner. Sunlight starting wide. Ooh, ooh, morning light. Ooh, ooh, fresh air. Whoa, Tumbler on the morning walk. Everything starts slow. Warm light spilling on the sidewalk. Light across the road. Tumbler on the morning walk. Fresh air, open sky. One more block before the coffee. Waiting warm inside. Steam slips out from the doorway. Bell above the frame. Someone laughs near the counter, calling out a name. Tiny drops along the metal, running down the lid. Morning breeze against my jacket. Easy rhythm in my steps. People passing with their headphones. Walking through the block. Sunlight stretching on the windows. Halfway down the lane. Oh, slow start. Oh, gold light. Tumbler turning in my fingers. Footsteps keeping time. Coffee waiting through the window. Warm against the cold. Tumbler on the morning walk. Warm enough to hold. Tumbler on the morning walk. Everything starts slow. Warm light spilling on the sidewalk. Light across the road. Tumbler on the morning walk. Fresh air, open sky. One more block before the coffee. Waiting warm inside. Ooh, ooh, morning light. Ooh, ooh, fresh air. Whoa, yeah, yeah, cool down. Wah, wah, walk around. Cold rush. Loosen up. Iced Americano after the walk. Shoulders still warm outside. Crosswalk light across the window. Cars rolling slowly by. Condensation on the plastic running near the seam. Air conditioning from the ceiling, cooling off the heat. One long sip against the sunlight. Ice moving in the cup. People drifting past the doorway. Afternoon opening up. Iced Americano hits so cold. Iced Americano cools me down. Chair legs sliding on the floor. Chair legs sliding on the floor. Cold taste in the afternoon. Cold taste in the quiet room. One more sip, I slow the pace. Iced Americano after the walk. Yeah, 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 yeah. Cool down. Wah, wah, walk around. Cold rush. Loosen up. Paper napkin near the counter, folded underneath my arm. Sweat drying slowly on my t-shirt. Cold against my hands. Street noise underneath the music. Soft through half-closed doors. Someone shaking ice behind me. Then the blender stops. The first cold sip hits different after walking in the heat window. Shadow shifting sideways down across the seats. Oh, I cooling down. Oh, I slowing down. Cold cup turning in my fingers. Watering on the wood outside. Air still on my jacket. Mixing with the cool sunlight fading on the sidewalk. People have Coffee cooling by the railing, paper cup against the breeze. I rest my elbows on the metal and watch the traffic move. The sleeve is sliding downward, my fingers find the seam. Steam lifts once above the lid, then thins into the street. I don't move for a minute, the wind keeps finding space. Heat keeps leaving from the cup in a quiet, easy way. Coffee cooling by the railing, steam fading into air. The evening moves below me, I lean against the rail. Coffee cooling by the railing, still warm against my hand. Headlights move below me, I let them pass again. Below the walkway, someone laughs and turns away. The cup leans lightly on the rail and settles into place. A drop runs down the paper, then stops before the bend. I turn the lid a little and watch the steam begin again. I don't move for a minute, the wind keeps finding space. Heat keeps leaving from the cup in a quiet, easy way. Cup is cooling too. Steam breaks softly in the wind and slips out of view. For a second, nothing changes, and light moves on the stairs. Coffee cooling by the railing, still warm enough to hold. Coffee cooling by the railing, steam fading into air. The evening moves below me, I lean against the rail. Coffee cooling by the railing, still warm against my hand. Headlights move below me, I let them pass again. Cooling by the railing, steam caught in the air. Still warm against my hand, I let them pass again. Spring light, white shade, coffee under the white parasol, sunlight on the street, little shadows from the leaves moving with the breeze. Cold cup resting near the coaster, table warm and bright, people passing through the crosswalk under open sky. Soft wind through the patio, music drifting low, one long sip against the sunlight, nothing moving fast. Coffee under the white parasol, coffee in the spring light, warm air moving through the tables, light across the patio. Coffee under the white parasol, slow day, open sky, one more sip and all the noise drifts somewhere behind. Spring light, white shade, butter cookie by the basket, ice against the cup, shadows moving through the plants, then sliding one by one. Someone laughing near the counter, soft steps by the door, warm breeze folding through the patio, past the open doors. Cars move slowly down the block now, clouds above the signs, cold drink turning in my fingers under quiet light. Oh, slow breeze, oh, white shade, coffee rings beside the coaster, sunlight turning gold, tiny leaves above the patio moving side to side. Coffee under the white parasol, spring light stretching wide. Coffee under the white parasol, coffee in the spring light. tables light across the patio. Coffee under the white parasol. Slow day, open sky. One more sip and all the noise drips somewhere behind. Ooh, white shade. Ooh, spring light. Ooh, coffee under the white parasol. Before the train, one shot, one breath. Before the train, I feel the morning hit my chest. I catch the smell of the morning line, I hear the station waking. I'm holding heat in a paper cup while everybody's moving. The glass is fogged by the cafe door. The lights are turning clearer. I take one sip and the floor starts moving. The platform pulling nearer. I got one more minute before the doors slide wide. One little bit of spark before the city comes alive. One shot before the train, a quick fire for the day. Small cup warming up my hands, then I'm on my way. Before the train, with the sky still soft and gray. One breath, one bit, a little flame, and the morning starts again. Before the train, one shot, one breath. Before the train, I feel the morning hit my chest. The barista calls out a number below. The silver machine is breathing. The line of coats and shoulder bags keeps moving without speaking. The coin slides soft in the counter tray. The sign above me flickers. I turn the cup and the steam goes thin. The clock keeps getting quicker. I got one more minute before the doors slide wide. One little bit of spark before the city comes alive. One shot before the train, a quick fire for the day. Small cup warming up my hands, then I'm on my way. One shot before the train, with the sky still soft and gray. One breath, one bit, a little flame, and the morning starts again. Before the train, one shot, one breath. Before the train, I feel the morning hit my chest. Shoes on the tile, light on the rail. Steam in the cold rush in the air. One step forward, one hand on the cup. The doors slide open and the whole day opens up. One shot before the train, a quick fire for the day. Small cup warming up my hands, and I'm on my way. One shot before the train, with the sky still soft and gray. One breath, one bit, a little flame, and the morning starts again. Before the train, one shot, one breath. Before the train, I feel the morning hit my chest. Before the train, one shot, one breath. Before the train, I feel the morning hit my chest. Thin foam, plastic shine. Morning moving light by light. Foam on the takeout lid. Soft swirl near the seam. Thumbprint pressed against the side. Steam held underneath. Paper sleeve half peeling back. Marker line worn thin. Tiny circles near the opening, still holding its shape. Plastic dome above the coffee. Warmth caught under clear lines. Outside buses start to rumble, but this cup still holds a light. Foam before the day turns cold. Plastic clicks when turned sideways, steam fading from the slot. Brown drops gather near the edge, then break into dots. Sleeve pushed down, uneven now. Cup seam facing out. People moving through the crosswalk. Cold air all around. Plastic dome above the coffee. Warmth caught under clear lines. Window light across the lid, blurring with the passing signs. Tiny bubbles breaking softly, one after another. Every little fading circle melting into others. Heat escaping through the opening. Morning drifting slow, holding one last bit of comfort before I let it go. Foam on the takeout lid, still warm enough to hold. Morning sliding past the window while the city rolls. Foam on the takeout lid, little rings of gold. Tiny heat against my fingers before the day turns cold. Thin foam, plastic shine. Morning moving light by light. Foam on the takeout lid, still warm, still cold. Sand on the floor, still by the door. Sand across the cafe floor. Tiny trails by the sandbar door. Cold cups sweating by the rail. Ocean air inside the pail. Loose white curtains shifting slow. Streetlight caught in melted gold. Someone laughing near the bar. Soft groove under the guitar. Sand on the floor, still by the door. Salt in the air, nobody cares. Paper napkins drifting low. Tiny grains beside the glow. Wet footprints fading near the sink. Ice turns once inside the drink. Chairs pushed back at different angles. Summer noise through broken channels. No one trying to clean the night. Blue hour hanging in the light. Sand on the floor, still by the door. Salt in the air, nobody cares. The beach came in with everyone. Stayed too long and settled soft under cups and under shoes. Mixed slow jazz and afternoon. Nothing perfect, nothing cleared. Just the feeling people leave here. Sand on the floor, still by the door. Salt in the air, nobody cares. Sand on the cafe floor, window breathing toward this day. Sand on the floor, still by the door. Chalkboard menu by the side door, white dust gathered on the frame, blue tape peeling at the corner, half the specials lost their name. Soup of the day crossed out in gray, coffee rings below the board, tiny arrows lean the wrong way, salt wind slips in through the door. We don't need it clean, the room keeps its own little groove. One sign, one side door, the late light coming through. A chalkboard menu by the side door, dust on the edges, rubbed and worn. Every crooked line still finds its place. Chalkboard menu by the side door, chalkboard menu by the side door. Napkin folded near the tray, chair legs scrape a crooked line, tiny stars beside the tea, drawn in faded yellow green. Rain stars tapping near the sign, letters blur a little more, still nobody straightens it, it leans better than before. We don't need the rush, we got the texture of the still. One bell, one chalk line, a corner time won't fill. A chalkboard menu by the side door, dust on the edges, rubbed and worn. Every crooked line still finds its place. Chalkboard menu by the side door, chalkboard menu by the side door. Maybe the rain keeps sliding down, maybe the street keeps moving fast, but by the frame in that low cafe light, the chalk stays longer than it has to last. I still see the dust, I still see the tape, white little marks by the side door like they never left the place. Chalkboard menu by the side door, dust on the edges, rubbed and worn. Every crooked line still finds its place. Chalkboard menu by the side door, chalkboard menu by the side door, still leaning in the light. Chalkboard menu by the side, still catching half the night. Spring light moves again across the cup and the grain. Spring light on the table, moving near my hands, thin gold lines across the cup, changing as people pass. The window stays half open, a breeze lifts up the page, someone taps a spoon nearby, then the light shifts once again. Light keeps moving near the cup, ring stretching down the wood. Shadows slide across the surface, then fade into the grain. Spring light on the table, soft gold near the seam, coffee catching gold a little near the edge of light. Spring light on the table, across the cup and sleeve, little reflections crossing slowly. shadow moves across the table, then slips between the cracks. Sunlight bends across the surface, changing line by line. The edge of every paper cup shifts a little at a time. The surface, soft glare on the wood chairs keep moving now and then under the quiet hum. A cup turns near the counter, a quiet laugh nearby. Spring light stretching on the table before it moves again. Spring light on the table, soft gold near the seam. Coffee catching gold a little near the edge of light. Table across the cup and sleeve, little reflections crossing slowly over the wooden grain. Spring light moves again across the cup and the grain. Yeah, high view, wow, gold light, slow sip, skyline. Coffee above the city, warm cup in my hands, tall glass catching afternoon light, buildings filling up the view. Condensation near the coaster, chair turned toward the view. Traffic moving far below me, rolling far below. Silver rails beside the rooftop, clouds above the sign. Steam disappears beside me into golden light. Coffee above the city, everything turns gold. Sunlight falling on the tables, soft across the glass. Coffee above the city, slow air, open sky. One more sip and all the noise stays somewhere below. Yeah, high view, wow, gold light, slow sip, sky. Someone laughing near the counter, ice against the cup. Afternoon shadows climbing softly halfway up the walls. Foam screens glowing on the tabletops, low music in the air. Jacket folded on the empty chair, slow movement everywhere. Traffic lines below the rooftop, moving side to side. Warm air drifting through the cafe, cooling off again. Slow down, skyline, coffee rings beside the coaster. City turning gold, tiny cars beneath the rooftop, moving far below. Coffee above the city, still above it all. Coffee above the city, everything turns gold. Sunlight falling on the tables, soft across the glass. Coffee above the city, slow air, open sky. One more sip and all the noise stays somewhere below. Yeah, high view, wah, gold light, slow sip, skyline. Salt on the window glass, cold cup leaving a quiet ring. Sunlight caught along the rim, blue air moving through everything. White cups stacked beside the bar. Loose shade crossing tile. Someone turns the ceiling fan. The whole room drifts a little while. No big words, no heavy scene, just glass and light and coffee steam. Window seat by the sea, wave light sliding over me. Cold glass, slow breeze, nothing pulling at the sleeve. Window seat by the sea, coffee ringing, faded blue. I watch the afternoon leaning like it knows what not to do. Curtains lifting, settle back. Chair legs scrape a crooked line. Tiny spoon against the cup keeps a rhythm out of time. Fairy lights across the haze, barely there beyond the shore. A napkin slips under the tray, then the wind asked for one more. No fast rush, no crowded scene, just glass and light and coffee steam. Window seat by the sea, wave light sliding over me. Cold glass, slow breeze, nothing pulling at the sleeve. Window seat by the sea, coffee ringing, faded blue. I watch the afternoon leaning like it knows what not to do. Salt dries softly on the glass, a thin white line. The sun forgot everything outside keeps moving. There's a little table does not. Window seat by the sea, wave light sliding over me. Cold glass, slow breeze, nothing pulling at the sleeve. Window seat by the sea, coffee ringing, faded blue. I watch the afternoon leaning like it knows what not to do. Window seat by the sea, still blue, still blue, still easy. Ooh, salt heat, what? Slow feet, what? Don't leave. Coffee sleeves in the sea wind, warm cup in my hand. Sidewalk rhythm by the water, feet slide with the sound. Paper sleeve bends from the heat, thumb pressed near the seam. Hair keeps moving with the ocean, tables moving past me. Small talk drifting through the patio, music from inside, salt air pushing through my jacket. Late sun on the right, coffee sleeves in the sea breeze, salt wind through my clothes, warm cup underneath my fingers while the whole block rolls. Coffee sleeves in the sea breeze, walking with the tide. Every step keeps landing easy, right into the night. Straw paper rolling by me under painted rails. Someone laughing near the corner, then it fades away. Coffee heat against the cool wind, hands around the sleeve. Lights keep skipping on the water, moving with the beat. Cars move slowly near the coastline, windows halfway down, baseline floating through the crosswalk all across the town. Warm cup, cold breeze, late light, soft beat. light keeps moving through me. Step swing, low heat, coffee sleeves in the sea breeze, still warm near the seam. Small waves folding near the boardwalk under steady feet. Coffee sleeves in the sea breeze, salt wind through my clothes, warm cup underneath my fingers while the whole block rolls. Coffee sleeves in the sea breeze, walking with the tide. Every step keeps landing easy, right into the night. Ooh, soft heat, slow feet, don't leave. Folded thin, pressed flat, black print under cloudy glass. Receipt under the sugar jar, bent edge near the total line. White grains caught along the fold, tiny scratches in the shine. Glass weight pressing on the paper, still it never moves too far. Someone wipes around the circle, not the sugar jar. Silver spoon against the tray, soft taps in uneven time. Nothing trying to call attention, still it stays there a while. Receipt under the sugar jar, held down, staying flat. Black print under cloudy glass, no one moves it back. Receipt under the sugar jar, thin crease, soften mark. Everything shifts around the counter, still it stays in place. Sugar dust along the bottom, sticky rim against the wood. Metal lid turned half a circle, turned once and left that way. Tiny crystals near the shadow fade and shimmer with the fan. The receipt curls at the corner, then falls flat again. Didn't need to mean that much, didn't need a memory. Just the weight of something simple staying where it used to be. Jar, cool glass pressing through the steam. Black numbers nearly disappearing, still trapped beneath the glass. Spoon tray shifts a little sideways, sugar taps against the side. Paper held beneath the pressure, like it settled there for good. Receipt under the sugar jar, held down, staying flat. Black print under cloudy glass, no one moves it back. Receipt under the sugar jar, thin crease, soften mark. Everything shifts around the counter, still it stays in place. Folded thin, pressed flat. Black print under cloudy glass. Receipt under the sugar jar, still it stays in place. Slow down. Coffee while the sun goes down, warm light on the street. Long shadows through the cafe glass, stretching past my feet. Cold cup resting near the coaster, chair turned toward the sky. Traffic slowing past the rooftop under fading light. Soft air through the open window, music drifting low. One long sip against the sunset, nothing moving fast. Coffee while the sun goes down, coffee in the gold light. Evening air across the tables, warm across the glass. Coffee while the shaking near the basket. Ice against the cup, sunlight fading on the tabletops. Halfway up the wall, someone laughing near the counter. Soft steps by the door, warm breeze folding through the cafe past the open door. Cars move slower down the block now, clouds above the signs. Cold drink turning in my fingers under amber light. Oh, I slow glow, oh, I gold light. Coffee rings beside the coaster, skyline turning gold. Tiny headlights in the distance, moving one by one. Coffee while the sun goes down, right before it falls. Coffee while the sun goes down. Coffee in the gold light. Evening air across the tables, warm across the glass. Coffee while the sun goes down. Slow sky, open view. One more sip and all the noise drips out through the door. Ooh, ooh, gold light. Ooh, ooh, slow down. Whoa, whoa, cold brew, bitter gold. Ice turns thin and slow. Cold brew near the window, cool against my thumb. Cold brew near the window side. Black line, plastic shine. Condensation on the lid, sliding down in crooked lines. Canvas sleeve beside my hand, still a little damp. Ice knocks once against the wall, then settles where it lands. Didn't need a long discussion, didn't need the whole cafe. Ice keeps shifting in the cup, making room for bitter waves. Cold brew near the window, cold brew, bitter gold. Ice thins out in circles, still the code stays close. Cold brew near the window, cool against my thumb. Dark down at the bottom, soft when it comes up. Plastic lid clicks softly when I turn it with my hand. Straw wrapper twisted small like a thin white rubber band. Water beads along the seam gather. Slip, slip, repeat. Signs bend through the plastic cup, but I don't leave my seat. No big scene to hold on to, no dramatic kind of mood. Just the low hum near the counter and coffee turning smooth. The straw keeps making circles in the watered down brown. Nothing gets decided, it just cools down. A small ring under my fingers, a cold mark on the wood. The cup gets lighter slowly, and somehow that feels good. Cold brew near the window, cold brew, bitter gold. Ice thins out in circles, still the code stays close. Cold brew near the window, cool against my thumb. Dark down at the bottom, soft when it comes up. Cold brew, bitter gold. Ice turns thin and slow. Dark down at the bottom, soft when it comes up. Cold rings, wooden grain, chair still halfway pulled up. Condensation rings on the table, cold glass near my hand. Water slips down from the side and gathers where it lands. A straw turns in the plastic lid. Ice shifts with a sound. The chair across is pulled halfway, like someone just sat down. I keep looking at the circle, thinning on the wood. The cup stays near the outline, long enough to blur. Condensation rings on the table, fading into wood. Cold marks underneath the glass, gone before the next cold sip. Condensation rings on the table, soft lines left behind, little traces changing shape while I take my time. The paper sleeve folds inward slightly, soft crease near the seam. A drop slides past the sugar jar, then disappears clean. Someone drags a chair behind me, low sound near the floor. Ice knocks softly in the cup, then settles once more. The table keeps the colder outlines long after cups move. I don't reach to wipe them off, I just watch them loosen. Stretch across the surface, then fade as people pass. Another cold cup moves through, the old mark starts to bend. Condensation rings on the table, almost gone again. Condensation rings on the table, fading into wood. Cold marks underneath the glass, gone before the next cold sip. Condensation rings on the table, soft lines left behind, little traces changing shape while I take my time. Cold rings, chair still halfway pulled, soft lines left behind, almost gone again. Half melted ice by the register, cold still sitting in the plastic cup. Straw bent softly toward the side, blue-white hum in the register light. Freezer air behind the counter low, damp sleeve brushing where the cold runs slow. Someone taps the numbers out of time, every little beep a softer sign. We don't need the rush, we got the hum inside the room. One cup, one register, the cold starting to move. Half melted ice, that's all it was. Cold at the edges, soft in the buzz. I traced the chill where the plastic stayed. Half melted ice slowly fades. Half melted ice slowly fades. Plastic lid clicks with a tired sound. Thumbprints cloud and where the cup turns round. Last few cubes still holding shape. Cold little moons in a shallow lake. Blue sleeves damp at the wrist again. Soft drip count and what the clock won't say. The room hums low by the register keys, like it's keeping one more degree. We don't need the words, we got the texture of the still. One cup, one low glow, a chill that lingers still. Half melted ice, that's all it was. Cold at the edges, soft in the buzz. I traced the chill where the plastic stayed. Half melted ice slowly fades. Half melted ice slowly fades. Maybe the street keeps moving fast. Maybe the last bus already passed, but by the register in that blue-white light, the cold stays caught inside the light. I still hear the hum, I still feel the chill. Plastic lid tapping by the silver till. Half-melted ice sitting almost still. Half-melted ice, that's all it was. Cold at the edges, soft in the buzz. I trace the chill where the plastic stayed. Half-melted ice slowly fades. Half-melted ice, still cold in the register light. Half-melted ice, still fading out of sight. Across the paper cups, register lights still blinking red. Half the chairs up by the wall, one crooked leg outside the thread. Front door rings a little less, neon caught along the blinds. Ice turns once inside the glass, like it forgot to keep the time. No one needs the rush, the room already knows. Two lights, one counter, the last song hanging low. Iced latte near closing time. Gold at the edges, soft in the light. I trace the ring where the cold cup stayed. Iced latte near closing time. Iced latte near closing time. Receipt curls beside the tray. A straw wrapper folds into itself. Espresso machine cools down slow. Warm hiss fading from the shelf. Tiny laughter from the back. Shoes tap once and let it go. Some rooms keep a rhythm even when the night moves slow. No one needs the words, the hum is enough to stay. One bell, one window, the street light leaning in halfway. Iced latte near closing time. Gold at the edges, soft in the light. I trace the ring where the cold cup stayed. Iced latte near closing time. Iced latte near closing time. Maybe the street keeps moving outside. Maybe the last bus bends out of sight. But by the counter in that amber line, the room keeps holding one more minute of time. I still hear the ice, I still see the sign. Half lit red above the register light. Cold cup circle on the table shine. Iced latte near closing time. Gold at the edges, soft in the light. I trace the ring where the cold cup stayed. Iced latte near closing time. Iced latte near closing time. Still glowing in the counter light. Iced latte near closing time. The room breathes out the night. Stayed until the lights came on. Last song moving through the room. Not yet, not yet. Last song in the cold cup near my hand. Someone stacking chairs beside the fogged up window glass. Napkins folded near the register, receipts curled and thin. Late night air through half closed doors, letting silence in. Nobody saying much now, just the sound of cups. One more slow wipe on the counter, music turning low. Stayed until the lights came on, soft gold on the floor. Jackets hanging by the doorway, not moving anymore. Stayed until the lights came on, almost missed the train. Still the speakers carried the last lows home. Coffee stains beside the sugar sleeves left near the edge. Barista turning chairs upright, one table still a mess. Street lights moving on the ceiling from the passing cars. Someone laughing near the doorway, then fading with the dark. Nobody rushing out yet, just the chairs against the floor. Quiet after midnight, slow shoes on the floor. Shadows pulling back, half-finished drinks and open jackets scattered